how to get money for your business and skip the bank with these new type of grants. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rindy from Ask Rindy, and welcome to the #1 community for real estate income, grants, and credit. So if you'd like to know how to skip the bank and get money for your business with these new type of grants all around the country, make sure you watch the video to the end and leave a comment below if you need help with anything. Small businesses are looking for options for money coming into their business, and there are more than 10 options which we share in our How to Get Funding with No Sales Guide. So banks oftentimes are not the best option for small businesses because their requirements are too stringent, and oftentimes they make it impossible to get money from them. So a good option to get money for your business are stabilization grants. So stabilization grants are part of the new trend that we're seeing all around the country of loss-based grants. So these are actually the exact opposite of banks. Banks are actually looking for high revenue. They're looking to see that your business is actually growing in order to be able to give you money. And after reviewing you, they actually give you a small amount of money based on the criteria that they've reviewed. The opposite of this are stabilization grants and loss-based grants, whereas they're actually giving you the money based on the revenue that you've actually lost. So we're seeing a lot of this actually uptake all around the country in different markets all around the country. And I wanted to actually share that with you, that stabilization grants and loss-based grants are some of the best options for you if you're looking to try to get money coming into your business. Stabilization grants are grants that are meant to stabilize the business. So oftentimes when you look at some entrepreneurs, their businesses are a combination of peaks and valleys. Sometimes they're making money, sometimes they're not. It's very inconsistent and it's destabilized. So these grants are actually meant to help come in and stabilize the business while you actually get your traction and move the business forward. Oftentimes when banks seize destabilization, they don't give money towards those businesses. They don't give monies towards those who need the money crucially. So these stabilization grants are actually doing what the banks won't by actually looking at the fact that your business is destabilized and not stable and giving you the money so that you can stabilize. So this is actually a game changer and is very much needed by a lot of entrepreneurs all around the country. So we're actually seeing more and more of these stabilization grants and loss-based grants pop up all around the country in different markets, and that's good news for small businesses. So here's an example of a stabilization grant that you can actually apply for. Fort Collins, Colorado, $10,000 in grants. So Fort Collins recently announced a new grant program for small businesses. So this grant program is specifically meant for small businesses that are actually destabilized, businesses that are struggling, that are not actually consistent with revenue and making money. This grant program is unique in that it focuses on 3 main areas that entrepreneurs are struggling with and having a challenge with. Number 1 is a stabilization grant. Number 2 is a technical assistant grant. And number 3 is a workforce development grant. All 3 in one. Now Fort Collins has done a great job in rolling out grant programs for small businesses to administer and help them weather not only the pandemic, but trying to actually move forward in dealing with inflation, in dealing with the fact that the expenses have gone up in running their businesses. They actually also have another grant program called the Neighborhood Mini Grant. So they're actually administering a lot of grant programs in their location. Certainly want to commend them for that, as few locations around the country really cater to their citizens in their areas by giving them multiple grant programs to be able to actually have as a fail-safe from shutting their doors and stopping their businesses. Now the first round of these $10,000 grants are open through August 30th, and the second round will be open from October 3rd through October 31st. Now as I mentioned, these grants are actually specifically for stabilization, to stabilize the business, keep the business afloat and keep the business moving forward. In addition to that, these grants are also for hiring talent. So to qualify and to apply for this grant, your business must meet the following criteria. Number 1, your business must have less than 50 employees. Number 2, your business must have no more than $500,000 in revenue on an annual basis. And number 3, your business must be located in Fort Collins. So the allocation of the grants broken down in the following criteria. Number 1, for stabilization grants, they are allocating $7,500 to help businesses that have at least 15% revenue loss. And number 2, for technical assistance, they're allocating $5,000 in grants. And for workforce development, finally, they're allocating $2,500 in grants. So if you'd like to get more information and apply for these grants, you can actually reach out to their liaison, Ashley Gutierrez, by emailing her at agutierrez@fcgov.com, or you can go directly to their website at fcgov.com. So these stabilization grants are actually welcome news for entrepreneurs from all around the country, as they actually give a different spin to how to look at an entrepreneur that is going through problems, that's going through resets, and trying to weather keeping their business open. Giving them money based on their revenue loss is huge, because that's where they really need it. If they were actually up and everything was fine, they won't need the money. But these grants are welcome news, and they're actually the best pivot and the best option for entrepreneurs to look into, to glean and get for their businesses as they actually navigate the inflation and also the higher expenses that we're all having to deal with as entrepreneurs all around the country. So we're actually going to be allocating and getting more of these stabilization grants, and we're going to be including them in our resource area at my website, askrendy.com. So you can actually find them under stabilization grants and also loss-based grants. We're going to be including them in our resource area. So if you actually go into our resource area, you'll be able to actually see them there. We're going to continue to actually grow that list and add as many stabilization grants that you can apply for around the country. Also, make sure you join us for our grants masterclass that is currently open. So if you'd like to know the formula for grants and how to properly position your business to receive grants consistently, make sure you join us for our grants masterclass by going to my website at askrendy.com, clicking on grants, and getting started today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me. My email address is askrendy@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.